Today I'm going to talk to you guys about a few different ways that you can cut out an object. If I have something furry or if I have something on a white background, my two usual go-tos are the following to see if they'll be the best technique. The first one is you can use the object selection tool and you can just drag it across here, and you're going to see in a second that this is going to convert into just the pig being selected. And that's pretty good. There could definitely be some cleaning up in areas. I'm going to hit Command D, Control D on a PC. And the next one you could try instead, if that doesn't give you a great result, you could go to this tool right here. So if you hold your mouse or hold it down, quick selection tool, and you've got a positive and a negative here. I'm going to use the positive. That just simply means that I want to select with this, and I want to go all around the pig and select everything. And I'll just drag it a little bit. Now, if there are some areas that get overtaken, like it's selected too much, I can go up here to the negative one. Oops, what am I doing? Okay, I want to overdo that part and under that part, so that's good. I want to add more right here. I'm going to add a little bit more around here. I could add these. I would probably just paint those back in later. Okay, so that is another way to select the pig. And I'm going to show you another way here. If you go to select subject, it will do an automatic job as well. And then again, you can decide by using that quick selection tool, say the automatic thing didn't do it quite right for you, you wanted to add something, you could just go back up here with your quick selection tool and add or take away anything you didn't like that was done automatically. So if I am happy with this and I think it looks pretty good, I can go down here and I can put a mask on it. And what that means is I've gotten rid of the background and I can add more background around it or take away more background. This still is not going to be the perfect cut. And the way I can tell this is if I put another layer under here, so I'm going to go to add layer and drag that layer underneath. And I'm going to use this paint bucket tool and I'm going to do this black. You can see that it's actually not a perfect cutout. And even as good as some of the AI is with this cutout technology, it is just not going to get the perfect cut. So in this case, you're probably wanting to go back up here. This is the mask right here, this black and white part. The mask works, I know this sounds weird, but it works with a black or white brush. If I use a white brush, I will actually bring in more of the background. So it adds. And if I use a black brush, it takes away. I can select a few things when I do this. I can select if I want the brush to be large or small. I can select what shape of brush I'm using. So actually, I don't like the shape of that one. That one is for light bulbs. I'm going to switch to a different brush here. These are the default brushes of Photoshop. You can decide if you'd like it to be a hard brush, and it'll show you a picture here, or a soft brush. And so I'm going to pick a soft brush, so 0%. I'm going to leave the opacity and flow alone. And I'm going to bring this brush and keep it pretty small and zoom in here. And because the pig doesn't, well, I guess the hair on a pig is kind of hard, but it's still, a pig would look a little strange with these hard lines around it. So you're going to go around the whole thing using this black brush, getting rid of this hard edge right here and turning it into the soft edge you see by using your soft brush. And this is going to take you a few minutes, so I would suggest that you just try this, follow along. And of course, like, I was being a little bit sloppy and right there, but if I go back in, I can add it with the white brush again. So this is, you might have learned from maybe like another teacher or just fiddling around with Photoshop on your own, that you can use the eraser tool over here. Don't use the eraser tool because it's permanent. When you erase something with it, you can't get it back. And really, the goal of professional editing is non-destructive. And so if we're talking non-destructive, that means that we want to be able to add what we erased again or take it away more if we need to. And we can't do that if we use these tools over here in general. And so that's why we make sure that our object has a mask on it first, and the mask allows you to add things or take them away with a black brush or a white brush. And the rule is always going to be the same. If you see something over here with a little box, either a black box or a white box, that's going to mean that you can use your black brush or your white brush, and you can do your work non-destructively. There is a lot of hair here that I'm removing right now. That's because that hair is a bit blurry. I know I'm not going to be able to get it out very easily right now. And so I'll actually add the hair at the end. There are some options. Now, this foot is out of focus, so I kept the blur around it. But this hoof here is in focus and the hoof is not soft. So I'm actually going to change my brush to hard. And when I go around the hoof, it's a firm surface, so it's going to be hard on the edge. And then when it gets to the soft surface, I'll switch back to a soft brush. And here again, I'm just going to remove all that. And please just follow me, and I'm going to speed this up for you. Okay, it looks like we're done here, and there's no major areas where I see too much light, except maybe there it almost looks like a bit of the background. I don't believe that is, but it kind of bothered me, so away it goes. And I am happy with this cutout so far. But there are a couple of other things I'm going to do to make it perfect rather than good. So the first thing I'm going to do is come over here and right click, and I'm going to convert that to a smart object. And that just means if I double click it, it'll show me my work from before. but now it's just converted into a single layer. And I'm going to go and I'm going to select this right here. So under the paint bucket tool, if I hold this down, it might be the blur tool, the sharpen tool, or the smudge. We want to put it on the smudge tool. And when you grab your smudge tool, you're going to look down and you're probably just going to see some general brushes. And we want to add some hair brushes, and they're going to help pull out the hair really nicely for us. To add brushes right here, if you don't already know how, you go up to this little wheel in the top right hand corner, you import brushes, and you find where they are. They're probably going to be, for me, it would be applications, Adobe, Adobe Photoshop 21, and then usually, yes, presets and then brushes. I also have a folder of brushes in a different place that I should probably move. But the best place is to put your brushes into the actual Adobe brush folder, and that way they'll be ready for you. And you will find a brush that I have attached for you, and it is called Hair Brushes. And you're just going to click that and hit open, and then your brushes will be loaded up for you. And they might be in a folder that you have to open or close. And I always like the first one a lot. So what I'm going to do, if it wants you to rasterize, okay. I'm going to go in with this with the smudge tool now, and I'm going to add these little smudges, and you do have to kind of flick as you do it. I am not working on a Wacom right now because I just wanted to see how it would go without, but when I do this, I always do it with a Wacom. It's easier on my fingers. I can get a lot better work because it's pressure sensitive. But the idea is to follow the hair, the direction of the hair and where it's going. And if it is longer, you can pull it out a little bit longer there. And if it's short, and once in a while, if the hair kind of changes direction, or if it goes kind of in a swoop, I'll just try to make sure I do the same thing. And if it kind of goes in a cross direction like that, sometimes it looks a little bit more natural to have just like once in a blue moon, a hair that goes the opposite direction. But really just following what you've got here and pulling out the little bits of hair everywhere. There isn't really hair on this side, so maybe I would just make my brush really short there and just have some little hairs coming out. And then over here, I would feel free to really, have those big hairs. And the great thing about this as well is, oh, I lost it. There's no great thing about this. There is no great thing about this, to be honest. It's not really fun. But it is a great way to add realism to your picture. And like, this is kind of the simple way out, to be honest. You could also go in and paint little teeny tiny hairs in the colors. And for the right image, I might do that. If I were feeling really strongly that the image needed to be perfect, then I would be painting in the hairs. But in this case, especially if it's going to be small, you can just go in and continue that in all the places that there is hair. Nice little edges of hair. The pig is soft, and then it's got the hard hoofs and the hardness around the nose. Are ready to save. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to go to File, Save As,
And usually I do like saving everything as a PSD file. This means that it will keep the layers of your stuff. And so you will have that black background there, and you will have the choice of turning that layer on or off in order to use that without a background layer or with a background. So that's the first thing, saving it as a Photoshop file. Okay. The second thing I would like you to do is save this as a PNG. A PNG is a file with a transparent background, so only the pig would show up, and you know it's a PNG if it has this checkered background behind. You know then, sorry, that it's transparent, not a PNG. So I'm going to go to File, Save As. Oh, it didn't want me to do that. Okay. With this being turned off right now, okay, actually I'll do it this way. So this is turned on right now. I'm going to just flatten this, and now I'm going to save it as a JPEG. A JPEG is a flat file. It has no transparency in it at all. And I want you to hand this one in because I want to be able to see your edges and how you did dealing with the fur. So that's number one you're going to hand in to me is a JPEG. If I hit Control Z or Command Z on a Mac, it's going to bring back the layers. I'm going to take this one off. I can even hit Delete and just get rid of it. And now I'm also going to save this as a PNG. As I said, normally just save it as a Photoshop file, but I just want you guys to be able to show me that you can save with these different techniques. So as well as the piglet on the black background, please send me this piglet as a PNG file, okay? And that means it's going to be flattened, but it's also going to have a transparent background. And when you're done, you should have the following things. You should have your PSD file. Don't hand that in. I won't be able to open it and take a look, but you should have that with your layers. You should have a piglet JPEG on a black background so I can see all the hairs. And you should have a PNG piglet. And you are going to hand in these two to me, please, so that I can see how you did.